Alright everybody, here we are, and hopefully we will not face the network issue, and if we do then we'll see, but we'll try to fix this. Coming back to this, and right now we are mainly gonna be working on this Excalidraw clone project that we've been waiting for a long time to just simply work on. Alrighty, so what's gonna be the next thing right here? We had some bugs here, so we are gonna be just simply fixing them. Localhost 3000 / canvas. Here we are. It was quite quick, and the problem was this that when I just simply select an image, now if I click on the image, it is telling me that null. Hello, I hope I'm audible, and let's continue. So we were working on this particular stuff here. Going ahead, there are a lot of things to just simply handle, so let's just simply get them done one by one. First of all, let's know about the issue, like why we are facing what we are facing. So components, we have the canvas, and canvas.tsx we have here, and what we are actually doing, we are working on the geometry part, right, on the canvas. So geometry heat test, this is where we are testing this, and we are testing image. What we are doing here, that point x should be greater than or equals to shape.x minus tolerance shape.x shape.y minus tolerance, yeah, that makes sense, and then shape.x plus shape.width, this and this. So this is fine, completely fine. So if I talk about this thing, so this is the width, this is the x, this is the y. Now so it seems to be fine. So why am I, the formula is right, ultimately this, that simply means the way the shape is actually being rendered, x and y, they are not right of the shape. So what am I actually gonna do, that whenever I'm rendering an image, so whenever I'm drawing an image, at that time this is where the image is actually drawn. So I'm just simply gonna ctx dot what recto, and we need x, so shape dot x, we need y, so shape dot y, and we need width, that's gonna be 10 by 10, ctx dot stroke. Let's see. Let's get another image, and this is where we are, let me even give it the color. We are getting to know, getting closer to the problem, and ctx dot color, so that should be stroke style. So ctx dot is stroke style, that's gonna be white. Alrighty, coming back to this, so ultimately this is where the x and y points are, this particular section. So somehow x and y points, they are not at the center, and that is understandable, and we need to calculate x and y again. Understood? So what are we doing here? The points x and y points that we are actually saving, they are not right in case of this particular image. Needs to be deleted later. Alrighty, coming back to this, whenever we are saving the image, so the hook that I'm using to just simply use image and all. So at that time, handle image input, we are getting x and y, and those x and y are the same. We are just simply creating the image and we are just simply returning from here. So the shape that I got, it's just being saved. So the shape with this particular x and y, at the end of the day, x and y, that's in the center. So if it is actually in the center, even we have this, x and y part of this, outside is null, and just from here on it is clickable. So ultimately the value of x and y, that's wrong here, and why is that so? Center, max width 0, max height 0. That's fine as well. Image dot width, it should be max of it, so I'm just simply getting the max. Okay, that's fine as well. Cell width, max width, image gap. Okay, we are getting the rows and columns, and once we got that, image info, and we are just simply calculating the x and y. So get centered offset, so x plus this and y plus this. So whenever we are getting an image, the x and y, they are being calculated, that's not the center point, right? Now get centered offset. Okay, the bigger question is, when we are even rendering the image, when we are drawing the image, we are passing this. That's problematic. Shape dot width divided by 2y, that's x. Now let's see, reload the page. Alright, now it is fine. So if I click here anywhere, so this should be completely fine. So the only problem is that if I come back here, if I select the image, it is somewhere here, it is not in the middle. And if I want to keep the image in the middle, then the starting point should not be the center. And if I want it to be divided by width and all, the way I was keeping it here, so doing it is not a problem. Doing it when the coordinates are actually being saved. So when it comes to drawing, so I'll directly draw it, as simple as that. So use image upload whenever we are doing this. So x plus centered offset, so whatever the center offset is, so we'll get the center points, right? So whatever x and y coordinates we had, What is the value of this? Let me see. CLG this, and yeah, that's fine for now. Reload the page. Zero. Let's keep it here. There are a lot of renderings soon, once we have to just simply fix it, and it could be probably logging. Centered offset is still 0. If we actually try to so this is the centered offset, minus this, this, and this is how it's calculated. It is this is still there because by default offset is 0. That makes sense. So we'll have the offset only when we upload more images like this. At that time I'm going to get the offset. So this is the offset that I'm getting. Those images are on top of each other, aren't they? They are on top of each other only because we are just simply passing x and y. So those images, they need to have the offset. So the offset that was being calculated here, that is needed. So ultimately what we are doing, we are trying to calculate the centered offset for these images, and once the offset is there, whatever the x and y value is for those images, we are just simply adding this. Now we are getting them like this. So overall, this is the center point. Minus the canvas, do we have that here? Width divided by 2 minus canvas dot height divided by 2. Reload the page. Now they are there, quite far. What was I doing here earlier? Shape dot height and shape dot this. Where is this shape coming from? draw image. So whenever we are drawing, this is the shape that I'm sending, and this comes from, okay, shapes width, not canvas. That was my mistake. Shape. The question is that where is the shape here? So whenever we are setting the shapes, before that we are creating, this is the image dot width and image dot height. We are passing the image. That image has height and width. So image dot width divided by 2. The simple thing is that the x coordinate that I have, I got its offset, but it should not start from that x, rather it should start from half of the width. So it should be somewhere in the center. So wherever I click at the center point, if for one image, should be the starting point. So it should be image dot height divided by 2. Okay. If I select one, that is still here. If I select many, they are like this. So isn't it the same thing that I am doing? The only thing is that if I am doing it here, I should not be doing it here. So I can remove it from here. Only one place it can be done. Now let's give it a try. They are sort of in the center. If I click them, this, it is clickable and I'm getting the image. If I click outside, it is null. If I click here on the line, on the image, I'm getting that. Here I'm getting that. Here I'm getting that. But if I click outside, I'm getting null. And that's what I wanted. Now let's ask ChatGPT to make this code a little readable. Let's see and explain, because I wanna know more about the code as well. Overall, I have the idea exactly what it does. Again, it was generated by the AI only. So coming back to this, we are getting the files. Once we got the files, we are just simply loading the image info. This image info just simply returns the information about the image, ultimately image URL, width and height of that, multiplied by the ratio. Now what is this? Max of width or max of height. So we are getting the max value. Once we got the max value, we are comparing it with the max, we are dividing it with the max size. And it should always be greater than 1. So this is how the width and height is being calculated. Can't we keep it simple? Like, why do we need to do this much? We need to do this much so that at least width of all of them is the same. But if I just simply remove it, what is the max size of here? That is 400 pixel, right? And image gap is 40. So in that case, I don't want to have this ratio unnecessarily here. Let's keep it simple only, image dot width and all. And this ratio decides the width and height, whether it should increase or decrease. Ratio is important, yeah, that's right. And if I'm not going this way, In that case, const width is gonna be equals to math dot minimum math dot max of max image size maximum can be this, and image dot width, so it should be min, so the value should be always less than this, and height is always gonna be the height only, so image dot height. In that case, I'm just simply gonna be removing it, just trying to keep it simple. I mean, why to have insane logics unnecessary. Reload the page. One image is gonna be like this at the center. It's taking a lot of time. That simply means I have a lot of images. So let's do one thing. Select all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go at the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Except the I can't even delete them. But okay, never mind. 1, 2, 3. They are gonna look like this. So ultimately, they do not have the fixed height. That will become problematic. So I'll have to set height and width. In that case, math.min max image size and image.height. Here we are. Ultimately, what will happen, that they'll have fixed the height and fixed the width, and in real case it doesn't happen like that. So Excalidraw.com, suppose I try to upload an image here, so what will happen? So if I'm trying to upload images, they are like this, and their width and height is the same as per the real width and height. Excuse me. That simply means I don't even need to change this. Can I do it directly like this? Image dot width and here we are. Let's see. Reload the page. It is sort of like this, and in case of this, they were somewhat like this. At least in this case, making them have as much height and width as they need is a good thing. By the way, shapes, where is this coming from? I need to just remove this. So wherever I have locks here, let's just simply remove all the locks. So activity console.log. This is mainly for the selected image. Let's have it here. The second one is this. Let's just simply get rid of this. Third one is this, where I'm just simply logging all the shapes. Then I'm logging all the lines and all. This one is fine. So ultimately what is happening, the gap between them is too much, first of all, this thing. So, and for the logic that we have, that's not right. So what I want to do, that image width, image height, that's sort of fine. I mean, I don't really have any problem as such. And it is just simply gonna return the data for what? Load image info. So it's gonna return files, and once it gets the file, it will just simply gonna be returning image URL, and once it returns the image URL, so ultimately I'm gonna be getting an array. So coming back to use image upload, at this place I'm gonna be getting array of image infos. Max width is not really set here. Max width or max height, we'll see if it is actually needed. And then image gap, seal width max height plus the image gap, image dot width. That's actually gonna be image so we had max height and we had max width, and we are adding this thing to this. So ultimately max height for an image, we are getting them like this. The question is, why are we getting the max size? So that every image is gonna be just the same way. Yeah, I don't want this anyway. So even the seal width and height, this is gonna be used here. So this should actually be image dot width, image dot height, and we are subtracting. That's another case. They are sort of close to each other. There's no gap at all, and they do not have fixed width and all. Just like this. Let's see what AI tells us about this. Oof. Let's see what this formula does if I replace it. They are like this, one after the other. The previous one was better. they should be in the form of a grid, and let's see. Uh, give me the whole logic. What the heck? They have max width. I want them to have minimum. It's quite a clean in this case, but in my case it's like handling a lot of things. Anyway, I have to image the upload the images. So not I think that option is not here. Yeah, that option is not here. In that case, let's go back to this one. I'm just simply copying and pasting, but at the end of the day I'll have to even understand what I'm doing. So we'll have create a grid size here, that is just simply gonna return this. Then we'll have create grid, we'll have image gap, and at the end this. So let's try all of them one by one and see exactly how it's gonna just simply go on. this is that's insane. The ratio section thing was better one. The ratio was actually just simply defining the height and width. It was somewhere here, right? It was somewhat like this. So this ratio was just simply getting the max of that particular image. On the basis of that thing, it was deciding the height and width of that. So this is how it is. Now it was like this, and it's just that it just gets the max. On the basis of that thing, it creates a ratio that just simply adjusts width and height as per that. That's what it is doing right here. What it is doing, it is just simply getting the max of this, and then max image size. So it is just simply checking the image size, the max it can be, and then it is just simply dividing. So it got the ratio, and once it got the ratio, it is just simply multiplying with that. Well, this is not really the worst thing actually. I mean, beta. Now the only thing is that does it have the right starting points or not? That's what I have to check. And it turns out all of them, they do have the right points, starting points. So we do not really need to worry about them. And they should be centered. Right now they are not centered for some reason, and that is how their x and y coordinates are being calculated. So that's fine, they are just centered. That's the only thing happening here. And yeah, based on width and height, if we are just simply keeping them, this is not the worst thing either. They are actually in the center, so that makes sense. Coming back to this one, the main logic that I had here. First of all, grid size. So based on, it gets the count. What is this count? Let's see. Image gap is fine. So we are getting all the files. Once we got all the files, we have the canvas. Once we have the canvas, we are loading the image info. This image info itself is deciding the height and width of the image based on the ratio. So I just divide the maximum height or the width by the image height, the max that I can get, and it is more than that, then I'm gonna get 0 point something, and that will be multiplied to the current width so that it gets smaller, and if it is lesser, it will make it bigger. So this is that's exactly what is happening here. And this is just a promise all. That simply means whenever I have all the images, then only it's going to be resolved, and it's just simply gonna return. And this is calling this load image, and this load image just simply gives me the info of the image when the image is actually loaded. Pretty simple. This thing is fine. Then we have max width and max height, that is 0 by default. We are just simply looping through the image info. Once we got the image, we are getting the image width and image height, and we are getting the max of the image width. In our case, the image width, okay, that's fine. We are getting max of image height, and once we got the max values of them, then we are gonna be we even need to know the rows and columns, exactly how many rows and columns we need. So based on the number of the images, so count image info dot length. So ultimately this is gonna be count, and this is count is nothing but number of images. So this is how it's just gonna be going on. So we'll get the square root of number of images, and then the ceiling value of that. And once we got that, we are just simply this will just simply give us the columns. So if we have 6 images, so we need suppose if we have 9 images, then we need 3 columns. And if we have 4 images, then we need 2 columns. So this is how it's gonna be decided, and this is again a formula that will simply works. And once we got the number of columns, we'll number of rows, actually this was just all about number of rows. And then once we got the number of rows, we'll divide number of rows by the columns, hence we'll have both. So if we have 4 images, then 2 rows are gonna be there. If we have 9, then 3 rows are gonna be there. And then we are gonna be dividing the number of images by the number of columns, and then we'll get the rows. And once we have both of them, so we get the number of rows and number of columns. Once we got them, max width is gonna be image. We even need to add the image gap. Right now the image gap is this much. Oh, let's make it 20 or something. That would be better. The lesser the better, actually, what I think. But let's see. Vertically that is fine. Horizontally, but how about vertically? Let's make it 40, but I have to make sure that make it have the horizontal and vertical gaps the same. Right now your gap is technically the same, but visually it won't look the same because the images have different sizes. That's right. So in that case, this breaks when images have different sizes because the rows and columns won't align. That's right. But better, let's read it. It would be better. So right now your gap is technically the same. So we are calculating the same gap, but visually it won't look the same because the images have different sizes. That is right. Max width 500, max height 300, image gap 40. Then it will be 540340, and the small size can be 100 by 100. Gets centered the cell, producing left this. So visible spacing looks inconsistent. If you want the actual distance between images to be exactly image gap horizontally and vertically, don't use fix the cell size. Instead place images row by row. That's right. So but this breaks when images have different sizes because rows and columns won't align. A better compromise is to compute I square cell. So ceiling size is gonna be like this, and after that cell X we'll have this. Makes horizontal and vertical spacing appear much more uniform because every grid cell is square. Just give me the whole logic. Give me the whole logic. Let's see what does this do. So this is something that I had earlier. I'm gonna be replacing it with this one. Let's see the result. Hmm. It just makes it a bit more consistent, that's it, nothing else. It's sort of the same here. Okay, let's keep it like this only. So we are getting the number of grids and all. Coming back to this, we have the files, we have the, come on, we have the canvas, we have the load image info, and even image width and height that's being calculated, and we have the image info for each, and we are just simply getting the max of that. Once we have the max, we are getting the number of rows and columns. After that, seal size, that's gonna be max width and max height plus the image gap. So this is gonna be the seal size, that's gonna be the number. So ultimately max of these plus the image gap, that's okay. We got the center x and y, and once we got the center x and y, then grid width, columns, seal size minus image gap. So the seal size that we have multiplied by columns that we get, so the number of columns multiplied by seal size, okay, the seal size already had the image gap, so we are subtracting it. We had the start x, you know what, but I have to just simply use. Give me the simplest logic that I can use for my drawing for x where I draw clone either this or something else, and as for load image info, this actually does this. Let's see. Find viewer, put center, put image in a squarish grid, use fixed gap, use each image actual width and height, don't calculate max width, max height and all. So ultimately it needs to be like this. First of all, practice practical version, since you already resize every image using max this, all images are reasonably bounded, so ID this is max image gap. This version I did ship in Excalidraw because very small code, predictable, since we are already now liking in this averaging main size and cleanest solution. Let's see what the cleanest solution it gives me. Why I prefer this version. Okay, forget about why you prefer. Let me check how it works first. Oh, this is insane, yaar. How long will I be busy just simply handling this part? What the hell? Any problem? Load image info with tools. Isn't it there? It is here. So what's the issue? अरे भाई now this is fine. This is fine for now. We'll see later exactly how it goes and all. But as for right now, let's just simply call it. Reload it. Let's try with 2 images. And at the end, I will implement the functionality of resizing as well. So that's not gonna be a big problem. Yeah, not bad either. Okay, what's the next thing here? Probably in future I'll work on it even more. But as for right now, this is fine. And coming back to this, first of all, we have the files. Once we have the files, we have the canvas, image info. We are getting the ceiling size. That's gonna be max image size that we have already, plus image gap. This can be the max size. Okay, that's right. And then grid width and grid height, we are just simply calculating over here. What formula is being used? I have no idea. I don't care. It works. That's enough. Later I'll just simply work on it. Column, seal, image gap, all these things. Okay, start X. That simply means I need to work on my math. I will work on that, but this is not the right time to do that. Start X, center X, and grid. Start X. That's gonna be center X, and grid width divided by Y, and that's gonna be the center X. Grid width divided by Y. That's gonna be the start X of starting point for that particular image. Makes sense? And shapes info, got the row and column, start X plus column, seal size, max size minus width divided by 2. It is just simply calculating the stuff. It is giving me the result. That's what matters right now. At the end of the day, somehow this X and Y, they are being calculated, and once they are calculated, I am just simply using them here. Okay, as for right now, what I will say that from here everything is just a formula, and wherever I mention formula here, that simply means I need to know more about that. I mentioned formula at many places here. Yeah, this one, this one, this one, this one. So wherever formula is mentioned in my code, I have to know more about that. That simply means I just took the help of AI or some other resources and made it work. Just this is how it just simply went. Okay, never mind. This thing finally started working. Let's see whether it actually locks the values in all or not. So if I actually come back here and if I click on the image, so it finally works. If I click outside null, and the same thing is happening here. So once I'm actually clicking on the image, I'm able to see like which particular image has been selected. That's the good thing. The another thing is that if I just draw this, well, it's quite great here. I never expected it would be this much cleaner. Wow, that's what I wanted. Okay, so this particular thing is done. What is the next thing? We fixed this thing. The next thing that we had yesterday, that was this circle. First of all, I think we had an issue here. So in this particular circle, if I click here, it would null, null, null. Now it starts working. So somehow this is wrong. So how am I gonna fix it? First of all, as I drew the circle, it was drawn, and then here it is just simply showing me null, and then here it's just simply giving the values. So what I have to do, that is whenever I'm drawing a circle, circle, here it is. So whenever whenever I'm drawing a circle, so we have center x, we have center y, and now I have to see, even before that I have to go to the image. Let's cut this thing, it is fixed though. Let's go to the center, and probably let's just simply paste it here. So ultimately, if we have the center, so we have x and y, and makes sense. Shape. Okay, let's see. Reload the page. Center. Got it. What is the problem? The problem is that this was the starting point, but this became the center. So now when I'm clicking, I do not have to worry about the starting point, rather I have to worry about the center. Great. In that case, come on here, why am I sneezing? Anyway, cool down. I have to check this thing. So whenever I'm clicking, that simply means geometry. Where is the folder geometry? Hit test, and inside this, let's talk about this point in circle. Here we are. What are we getting here? We are getting that particular point. We are getting the circle. We are saying point dot x. That is completely wrong. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to get the distance between the point and the starting point. Okay, what do we have to do? We have to get the distance between the center and the point. Got it? What is the center? Const center x, that's gonna be shape dot x plus, this is the starting point. What's the center? Shape dot width divided by 2, that's gonna be the center x, and center y, shape dot y plus shape dot height divided by 2. Got the center. We have to get it center x, we have to get the distance from the center y. Then once we got this, the distance between distance, after that we got the radius, shape dot width divided by 2, or let's get the radius at the top, probably like this. And once we got the radius, so let's keep the logic same. We are gonna be getting radius x as well as the radius y. So this particular rule will be applied for both. So radius y, shape dot height divided by 2. We got x radius, we got y radius. Once this is done, we are just simply getting the distance dx square. Once we got the dx and dy point, we are getting the square root. So dx is square plus dy square, and the square root of that. That makes sense. And even we can calculate the distance directly. How directly? We can use we can go with this. I'll even show you the another way. Just use radius x here, that's gonna be fine. In circle, both the radius, they are gonna be the same, same, so no problem with that as such. Reload the page and let's see whether it works or not. Yeah, it works. So in circle, radius x is gonna be equals to radius y. Both are gonna be the same here. And ultimately what we are doing, that we are just simply getting the distance. So math dot square root of dx square multiply plus dy square, and Either you use this or there's another way, there's even a shorter way. What is that shorter way? The shortcut is that there's another const distance, that's gonna be math.hypot, and alrighty, it just simply works. So either you use this or you use this. It is nothing but formula of distance between 2 points. If you know this in math, that is how to get the distance between 2 points. That's what we are doing over here. Once we got the distance, we are just simply checking that it is, less than the radius plus tolerance or not. Fine. Same thing needs to be done for ellipse, and in ellipse we have to check it separately for both. So we can make it simpler, can't we? Yeah, we can. We got the what are we doing? We are checking it for both. We are checking the distance dx square, radius plus tolerance whole square. So ultimately root of dx square, yeah, so root of this. So dx is nothing but this, dy is nothing but this. We are just simply getting them separately. Okay. How can I make it simpler? To make it simpler, last time I wrote formula here. Actually this is not as difficult as this seems to be. Why? Because bro, first of all let's make it like this. Once I made it like this, I have to get the value of dx and dy. What is the value of dx? Center is center y I got. Then now it does the job. Either use this or use this, both of them are the same. So either you say ds square plus dy square, or you just simply use hypot. This is just simply gonna be working, and this is the distance formula for distance between 2 points, as simple as that. And I think I should keep it here at the top. This makes more sense. Now coming back to this one, we've got a radius x, we've got radius y. Once we have the radius x and radius y, we can get rid of this particular section. Once we have got rid of this particular section, now we are going to be getting the center x and center y. So congratulations, we've got that as well. Once we got the center x and center y, now even radius should be enough. So why we needed center x here? So that we can calculate dx and dy. Why we want dx and dy? So that I can get the distance of the point from the center. Same here we are doing. We are getting dx and dy, so we need to have center x here. And this is what? This is the distance between point and center. Same thing we are doing over here. Distance, sort of, this is vector first of all, distance vector of point and center. So first of all this is the vector, and then after the vector we are calculating the distance, right? So this can be distance vector point and center. Once we got the vector, we are calculating the distance. Okay, this is what we've done. After that square of this, x square and root square of this, so we are just simply getting the square of both. How can we make it understandable now? Dx square plus this should be less than this, sort of the same. We are not getting the distance here. It should be less than the tolerance. That is it. We are directly getting the distance, and the distance should be less than the tolerance. The same thing cannot work here. That is right. So we are calculating it like this, and this is the formula. Question: which formula is being used here? Which formula is being used here? This is the equation of ellipse. Okay, amazing. So this is the equation of the ellipse. X minus x square plus ax square plus this. A is the horizontal radius. So x minus cx. A is horizontal radius, semi major axis. Y is the vertical radius. So we have these radiuses over here, and the standard ellipse centered at cx and cy. So they are the center x and center y. And x minus this, we got dx and we got dy. Yeah, that's fine. Dx square upon radius x square, you are checking this. If that is equals to 0, sorry 1, that is on the radius. If that is less than or equals to, if point is less than 1 inside the, if that is greater outside, and that is on equal 1 on the boundary. A circle radius x square plus y square is equal to r square. A circle of radius r a square plus b square is going to be equals to c square. Okay, divided by r is 0, so this is going to be like this. So x square y square, maybe just like this. So ultimately this is the formula of. So what is the formula that's being used here? Formula of ellipse. So equation of an ellipse. So this is equation of an ellipse. What is that? That is x minus cx square divided by a square cx square divided by a square plus y minus cy square divided by b square should be less than or equals to 1. This is the main formula. Coming back to this one, this is the overall formula of an ellipse. What we are doing here, x is the, so what is x? X is the just a sec. Yeah, so x is the point x and point y, so they are over here. I can say x is nothing but a point, so ultimately x and y, what are they? They are the point. And cx and cy, what are they? They are nothing but the center. So we had the radius. Once we had the radius, we calculated the center. Once we got the center, we are getting the distance vector. And once we got the distance vector, dx square, and we got dy square, and radius plus tolerance, of course we will give it radius plus tolerance r square, and this should be removed from here. We have even more. A and B, they are radius rx and ry respectively. Okay, so this is what we have done, and that particular formula is being used over here. So that is it, the job is done. Now let's see whether the issue has been resolved or not. So for the circle, it was resolved a long time ago. Yeah, let's check this for ellipse. So if I click outside, nothing is happening, and if I click inside the ellipse, it is selected. Yeah, it makes sense. Already we fixed it anyway. So this one is done. This one is also done. And whenever we are drawing a circle, I need to just simply remove this. So it turns out that we are able to select an image. Great. We are able to select the image. Now once I did this and I clicked on the image got selected. What is the next thing? There should be a bounding box around that. What kind of bounding box? Alrighty, so suppose here it is. Anyway, let's get that back. Coming back to this one, if I drew this, so there is this bounding box around this, as simple as that. So we have to know that how to create this bounding box, and once the bounding box is created, we have to create these points on that bounding box. Once we have did that, we have to create this just above, and once we've done all these things, then we can consider some work done. Give me a moment, let me get some water, and then I'll continue from here on. How long has it been? 1 hour and 17 minutes. I'll be back in a minute or so. Until then, bye bye. Hello. It was quick, I know. How's everything going on right now? Things are well. Coming back to this, let's just simply start working on this. And before that, let me just simply have some water. Alrighty. So what we have to do? The thing is that if I'm clicking on any shape, somehow we have to calculate this left, right, bottom. I mean left, top. What can I name it? Left, right, bottom, top. No. Ultimately we have to get the coordinates of these four, and it should be for all the shapes. So that's what we have to just simply work on now. So what can we do? When it comes to any shape, we already have x and y, don't we? As simple as that. Don't we have x and y by default? We have. And now we should be able to just simply move it here and there. Once we have x and y, when we draw it, so we get end y. We are not storing really end y in that. So in that case, we have width and height. So if we add the width, we are gonna be getting this. If we add height, we are gonna be getting this. And it is possible to calculate this as simple as that. Suppose this was 0 0 here. It was initially, just imagine it was 0 0 here, and the width was suppose 50, and this is the width actually. The width was 50 and height was around suppose 80. Now let's try to get the coordinates. Okay, this is the width, this is the height. So what's gonna be this? This is going to be 50 0, the coordinates of this. This is going to be 50 80, and this is going to be 0 80. So ultimately what you are doing, if you have x, it's simple, right? It must be quite understandable. So suppose I have x over here. Let me just simply zoom it. Suppose I have x and y. So this is the first coordinate. The second coordinate is and I have width, and I have width, width, and I have height, height. Now if I talk about the coordinates, so first one is the x and y, simple, no problem. Second one is gonna be x plus, like I'm talking about this particular one, so x plus width, and width y will always remain the same. Third one is gonna be this one I'm talking about. We have to just simply add x plus width and y plus height, dth, y plus height. And the fourth one is gonna be x will be the same, and y plus height. So this way what we can do, using these four, we are able to calculate what? We are able to calculate the bounding box. And now we have to just simply draw a rectangle. That is something we'll consider a bounding box. Pretty simple. Again, we have to add one more thing. That is, if that is x, so probably we have to add the tolerance as well, a little. So that can be plus tolerance. What is tolerance? Some extra, so that it is a little away. Suppose I clicked on this. Oh, the tolerance, there is definitely tolerance, some tolerance, no tolerance. Okay, never mind. Okay, so this is the for the diamond. Okay, let's talk about the rectangle. So in rectangle, we okay, there is no tolerance as such. There is a little tolerance anyway, a little in the sense some here. Similarly, even a little tolerance is also here. So suppose 10 pixel or something tolerance is there. So even for this it is easy to get. Okay, fine. We can easily get for okay, not this. We can easily get for a circle as well. Yes, it is possible to get it for circle, no problem. We can easily get for a line. Can we? So whenever we click on a line, we get starting, we get a middle point, we get the starting point, and we get this. So the line just simply gets these blue points. So we'll have to handle it separately, and same must be with this as well. Yeah. How about this? This is interesting. So what are we doing here? We had x and y here, that is fine, and we kept drawing. So what we are actually doing, this could have been even like this. Now what? Yeah. So what we are actually doing, we'll get the minimum value of xy, we'll get the what? how are we calculating this? So these are the points that we have, right? So at the end of the day, we have to get the minimum point. The minimum point is gonna be somewhere here. So this is gonna be interesting. How are we gonna be calculating this? We'll definitely have x here. So referencing to x, we have to get the minimum. X will always be the same. Will it be? No, it will not be. Because if I'm doing it like this, then the x has completely changed, especially in this particular case. So though I started from here, the bounding box starts from here. In that particular case, how will I calculate the bounding box? We have to get the max values: max left, max top, max right, and max bottom. Once I got those max values, then I can calculate x starting as well as the ending. That is it. This is how I can calculate those values. So we just have to get the max end, max top, max right, and max bottom. Anyway, I had a code. Let's see how this particular thing is implemented there, because again I'm doing it for the first time. I asked the AI to just simply create some of the things for me. That's not a big project, but things are scattered, but learnings are amazing. So coming back to this, I think not this one, or probably this one. Is this the one that AI created? Yeah, this is the app that AI actually created. So hide the activity bar and let's see. So whenever we click down, at that time we just simply check that is a point in down or not, and if we actually know that we get the click object. Once we get the click, ultimately we get the object or the shape where we clicked. After that, set selected object ID to this set, moving to true, last this, set last this, red or last. Whenever we are redrawing, what are we doing? Whenever we are redrawing, at that time we are just simply redrawing, and yeah, so this is the bounding box, isn't this? Before even redrawing, draw a grid background in space. Just a minute. So whenever we are redrawing something, at that time FFF, this is the color, CTX clear with a white background. We don't really need to do this. Draw grid background in screen space, no transformation. Grid size. Oh, what is this for? Offset X. What does it even do? Let's make the color red and let's run it. Anyway, the main focus was on the bounding box, and bounding box is actually being calculated like this for any shape. So this is just an object, and once it gets the object, it returns the minimum x, minimum max x, minimum y, max y, and it does this thing for, by default it is just simply saying that max x is infinity, minimum x is infinity plus point, max is minus infinity. It is just simply assigning these points. After that, what it is doing, that update bounds, it's just simply gonna be updating. So the point that I actually got over here, where is this point coming from? Hang on for a sec. This object, where is this point coming from? Okay, this is just being called here, so let's continue to this one. So object dot points, so this is gonna be for pen. how are we gonna be calculating it for pen? So objects dot points for each, and update bounds, and we got a point. Once we got a point, screen canvas to screen point, right? uh, mm, mm, do we really need the screen point? We had the canvas points, right? uh, whew. Even my head is hurting now. Come on. Whenever we click on somewhere, suppose I clicked on the pen. Okay, once I clicked on that, uh, I got the pen as selected object. Okay, as soon as I got the pen as the selected object, so I have a shape now. Once I have the shape, I'm going to get the bounding box. That shape has the canvas coordinates, yes or no? The value that's actually being logged, what value that is? Over here, not here actually. Whenever I'm drawing the shapes, I'm drawing them all over, that's all right. So inside hooks, drawing canvas. Here, the shape that I'm actually getting, if I go to this one, so I'm just simply passing what? I'm simply passing the shapes. What are these shapes? These shapes are the canvas coordinates, and the point in shape, I pass starting point, that is again the canvas coordinate. I'm passing this shape, that is again the canvas coordinate, and if there's any, so I'm just simply converting and returning that. So that simply means whatever is being returned, that is already the canvas point. Okay, so in our case, the object that I'm sending, that object itself has canvas points, right? So if it has the canvas point, so object dot points for each update bounds. So what we are doing, points for any object, there are gonna be many points, we are just simply calling this update bounds. This update bounds is a function that takes point as an input from here, and once it gets that canvas to screen, it tries to find, yeah, that's right, makes sense. So using the point x and point y, it gets a screen point. Once it gets a screen point, so minimum x, because if you select something that may be drawn on the screen, that may not be drawn on the screen, just a sec. Suppose I selected this, yeah, it can be like this as well. So the question is coming back to this, yeah, min x is gonna be minimum of min x and screen dot point dot x, so the minimum value of that. Max can be maximum value, and this makes sense, understandable, as per a point, and these values are actually saved here, and it will be repeated for all, and at the end of the day, for minimum x I will have the minimum value, for maximum x I will have the maximum value, same for y. That is such a good logic, but the only question is that why am I getting it for screen point? Why am I using the coordinates of screen? I could have gone with point x and point y. I could have, yeah. When I'm actually selecting that, I'm clicking on the screen, just then that screen coordinate is converted into canvas coordinate, and when I pass here, I pass the canvas coordinate, and now when I'm gonna be selecting that, so I think in my case do we need to go with the canvas point only? And I think they are actually storing the screen. This point is nothing but the canvas point. We'll see why we are doing it here, especially when we do it in action, then only we'll realize why it's happening. So but apart from this particular thing, this is fine. Let's talk about this one, object.start point, update point. Wow, I mean for all update bounds, so I'm just simply passing the start point and end point. It is sort of same ultimately. We'll have the points we'll pass, and then the starting and ending are gonna be there. Makes sense. And we'll have the rect, so update bounds top left, bottom right, so we are just simply passing the left points and the right points. Makes sense. And for a center, what we are doing that we got the center x is center y. Once we got the center x, screen center, okay, forget about screen center, I can have the normal ones as well. After that I got the scaled radius, so object dot radius multiplied by scale. What does this mean now? Anyway, once I got the center, so screen center x minus scale radius. Even for the center I can calculate it easily, so no need to go with this logic. Even min x max x, that can easily be calculated for the center as well, because we'll have starting and ending. So just like rectangle, we can go with this. So same thing can actually happen with the text as well. This, right? So min let's see, let's try to write this logic. We have to get the min and max values of all these things, right? And then once we got that, we have to just simply get the bound. Few formulas are great here, I like them, but few are not as per what I think. So they can be simpler, like the circle one and all. So let's just simply work on that and see what happens. So as soon as I click on the point, I want to get the bounding box. Okay, geometry hit test. So this is the hit test, and it is just simply telling me the shape as well, exactly which shape that is. In that case, let me just simply take a screenshot of it. A simple question to AI: where should I keep get bounding box logic? What's the best place for it? Looking at your structure, I would not keep a bounding box inside hit test. That's right, that's what I was thinking. Geometry calculation, not hit testing. So geometry bounding box dot ts, so it's like directly can be created. Okay, not a problem. And then it is even giving us the logic and all. That's fine. So let's do one thing, that's just right here, bounding box dot ts, export function, export default function get bounding box. That's gonna be interesting. Now what are we gonna be getting here? Bounding box. I'm just simply gonna get a point, and point is gonna be a point. That's gonna be some point on the canvas, right? Once I got some point on the, once I get actually some point on the canvas, so later minimum x, that's gonna be infinity, max. So minimum value is gonna be maximum, and then later that's gonna be minimum automatically. Yeah, that's right. Max suppose if you wanna know the minimum value in an array, so consider the minimum value the max value, so that when that you will compare that max value with the numbers, so those numbers are gonna be the smaller, so whichever is smaller that will become the minimum value. So it will just simply keep going on. As for right now, max x, that's gonna be minus infinity, min y, that's gonna be infinity, and max y, that's gonna be minus infinity. So ultimately you have to just take the opposite, so that when you compare, you can compare. So suppose max x is minus infinity, okay, as that is minus infinity, so next time I will compare that, okay, is there anything greater than max? It was already minus infinity, so of course there would be something that is greater than minus infinity, so that's gonna be the max. After that, then I'll compare again and again, and this way I'll get the max value. Okay, this much is done. What now? We got the point. I want to be. Yes, we did. We can get any kind of shape, that's right, and we have to do it for all. Okay, let's do one thing. Coming back to this, ultimately I'm gonna be getting the shape here directly, because there can be any kind of shape, right? So once we got the shape, let's keep it actually inside this. I'm gonna be using a switch statement just like earlier. The key is gonna be shape.type. If there is a rectangle, then I'll have this logic, and okay, after that what do we have to do? And let me even check what's being done here. Coming back to this, we are getting the bounding box. Once we got the bounding box, we are just simply setting them here. Doesn't matter for what that is. So this is just simply done, and at the end of the day I'm just simply returning. If I try to do the same thing here, so only this switch statement will break in that case, but at the end of the day I'm gonna return min x, min y, min x, max x. How do we return min x, max x? Min y, max y, just like this. So we are gonna be returning these values from here, and we have to do it for all. So this is gonna be for rectangle, this is gonna be for this. Alrighty, so the first one was the rectangle, second one is the diamond, third one is the circle, then we have ellipse, then we have arrow, then we have a line, then we have text, ultimately Excalidraw. After that we have nothing. This we do have free draw, and then we have image. So ultimately this is how it just simply goes. Simple. Now the question is, how will you be doing it? So for a circle, even we need to calculate this. Const update bounding box. I hope that was the name there. I'll give it the code to the AI as well so that it can check, but get bounds, update bounds actually. So update bounds. Update bounds will just simply get the point, and that's gonna be the type of point, and this is how I just simply go ahead. Now I have to call this logic here. Let's talk about rectangle. So somehow I need to get the start value and the end value. So const just a sec, bounding box. Yeah, if that is a rectangle, then the shape is definitely gonna contain shape that I have, that will have the rectangle type. That is right. Ultimately I have x and y, so const shape. I have these things. From the shape I can easily get the x, I can easily get y, and what else? I can get x, I can get y, and I can we have to even normalize this. This is not enough. If we just simply select, that will already be normalized. That simply means x will be the smallest, smaller than the starting will be smaller than the ending. So this is already normalized, isn't this? Because this is coming from the saved shape. So we do not need to do this. Width will get, height will get. Okay, once we have this value, so x, y we already have, and is gonna be x plus width and x plus y plus height. What are we doing here? We are just simply passing the point to this, and it just simply updates it. So ultimately update bounds for x and y, and update bounds again for x is gonna be x plus width, y is gonna be y plus height. So ultimately I am updating the bounds for all these. So ultimately what it is going to do, it is just simply gonna say that min of x is gonna be, the point will have minimum x, minimum y, won't it? What all will the point have? Just a sec. This point, what is the type of this point here? This is having x and y, and once it is actually having x and y, so the point that I have, we are getting the probably in our case it can be even simpler. So min x is going to be math dot min point dot x So what we are actually doing here, we are passing the point, and the minimum value is going to be the minimum of that, maximum value is going to be the max of that. So it's going to be sort of like this. Minimum value, min x is going to be minimum of min x and point dot x, max x is gonna be math dot max x point dot y. I hope that is how it's written. Let me write the whole logic, then I'll see. And similarly min y, math dot min, so min y and point dot y, and max y, math dot. So ultimately I'm comparing it with these infinities, and the value that I give, that will become initially, that will become the mean as well as max, and later as I keep passing the values, so they will just simply change as per the new values. So mean y and point dot y. So this is how it should be done. Again, we are not calculating this canvas screen point here, because I am not getting what is the region behind it. They are converting it to screen point, and they are just simply getting this job done. I am not understanding why they are even doing that, because to render it on the canvas we can do it directly. So I'll see if I actually need this or not. Anyway, this thing we have done it for the rectangle. So for a rect update bounds, we had to call twice. We got the left, we got the bounds, and ultimately we just, again this logic is different than the logic I've written here, because in my case this is the starting x and y, and this is the end x and y. So start point, and this is gonna be the end point. This is how I have the logic. This thing is done. Let's try this thing out. Diamond. Even for the diamond, the logic is gonna be the same. Diamond will have height and width. The job will be done. What is the problem? Okay, we cannot do the same thing. Ultimately we need to declare a block here, so let's do that too. Just a block, not a problem. Just like this should be fine. Same thing we need to do here. It needs to be inside a block. When it is a block, it just belongs to the block. If it is not inside a block, it just belongs to the all, so we cannot redeclare the same thing again. In diamond we'll have height, width, and ultimately this way we'll calculate the bounds. And circle, I'm thinking the same for circle as well. So even we are repeating this, so we'll make sure that the this logic is not repeated. For an ellipse, what I'm thinking that even for an ellipse it should be the same. I don't know whether I'm right or not here, but we'll see. Of course the result is gonna tell us, right, the things done here, right or not. Arrow, this is interesting. When it comes to an arrow, so we have the starting and end point both. So we have no, we don't have them. This is gonna be a bit different here. Const xy and points from the shape. The thing is that the points that I get here, they are not the absolute points, they are the relative points. So we'll have to convert them to absolute points. First of all, this thing. So points dot for each, just like this. Here points are relative distance point from start point. Coming back to this, const const what? Absolute point, get absolute point. I had a function like this, and point x and point dot y. Any problem with this? Ooh. It takes what it takes, x and y and the point, right? Just like this. Once it gets it, it's gonna return me absolute point, and once I have the absolute point, and then I have to give it, as simple as that. So update bounds absolute point. It will be called for all, and ultimately it will keep checking the minimum maximum value. Whatever point it gets, it will just simply make sure that if that is the x point, it makes sure that it gets the minimum and max value. If that is y, it gets the minimum and max value. This is, it just simply keeps going. So hopefully this logic is right as well. It is for arrows. If I've written a logic for an arrow, the same logic will be applied on a line as well. And the same logic will be applied for the free draw as well, because they have the points. The best thing we've done in our case, that we tried to structure most of the shapes the same way. So what is the benefit of it? The benefit is that they have the same types of data. In that case, if we perform some kind of calculation, most of the calculations are same for all. Image already had width and height, so it's gonna be having this kind of logic. It's just like a rectangle. Alrighty, seems to be done. We are gonna be returning this get bounding box. First of all, let's see what we get here. But even before that, let me make it simpler. Simpler in the sense, update bounds we have. Const update bounds for shapes with point. Update bounds for shapes with points got it. And okay, this whole logic I need to cut and I need to paste here, and I need to pass the shape. The shape is gonna be shape for now. Let's keep it like this only, but the thing is that height may not exist there, so in that, what the hell, height does not exist on type shape. That makes sense. So const type, let's create a type. Shapes with points. That can be arrow, that can be what, shape with points. That can be either arrow shape, or that can be a line shape, or that can be a free draw shape. Done. So update bounds for shape with, from shape we have to omit shape and the points. Well, it's not gonna work. Shape with the points, shape without points, rectangle shape, diamond shape, circle shape, ellipse shape, text shape, and image shape. There we are. Shape without points. This is fine. And one more, const update bounds for shapes with the, this should be without, update shapes for update bounds for shapes without points, and update shapes for update bounds for shape with the points. I'm gonna be getting shape with the points, and at the end, this is the logic that's gonna be there. Seems to be simple. at least so far. Now if that is actually rectangle, I'm gonna do update bounds for shapes with the outer points, and I'm gonna be passing shape, as simple as that, and of course gonna break it here. Okay, same thing here, circle, same thing for ellipse. For arrow the logic is gonna be different, but for the image the logic is gonna be the same. Let's talk about this. Update bounds for shape with the points. I'm gonna be passing shape here. I'm gonna be breaking here. Alrighty, so overall things they are sort of done, and even we can do one thing. What is that? If it is actually like this, then let me have this image logic here, and let me get rid of this, because if the logic is the same, here we are. So what it means, let me even make it simpler first. So here we are, the even simpler version of it. So that is a rectangle, diamond, circle, ellipse, image, or even text. We've forgotten that text will have the same. Yeah, so if that is rectangle, diamond, circle, ellipse, text, image, all of them they are shapes without the points, hence the logic is the bound is going to be, the bound is going to be calculated like this. For the shapes with the points, the bound is going to be calculated like this, as simple as that. Time to see the result. Never expected that the logic that I was writing, it could be this simple. Literally, this is insane. Such a big logic has been compressed to this small 70 lines of logic and all. But okay, never mind. I'm not sure whether this is even right or not. So only the answer, the result is gonna tell us. In that case, what do we have to do next? We have to get the bounding box, right? So whenever we are drawing the shape, use canvas drawing. Over here, once we got this, boundings or bounds, and when it comes to bounds, so get bounding box, we have to just simply pass a shape. So ultimately selected a shape. What is the problem, bro? Null. So if not selected a shape, once I got the bounds over here, CLV bounds, and even at that time I wanna calculate this. Bounds are okay. CLV selected shape, that's gonna be equals to selected shape. Alrighty, we have these two here. Let's try this thing out. All right, here we are. So this is the circle, diamond. I clicked on this and I'm getting these two here. Let's keep it here. This is the selected shape, this is the bounding box that I got. So if you actually have a look at this, that X is 437, max X is 674, min X is this. That is amazing. That's what I wanted. That the minimum, have a look at minimum X and minimum Y. It's 437, 259, 437 259, and the maximum value is the end value. So if you actually just add this to this, so 437, ultimately the logic is the same, right? So it's gonna return the right one. Now the question is, if once I got this much, okay, so I have to make it appear. That's the important thing. Only then I can say that whatever we discussed, that is right. So we have to just somehow make that bounding box appear on the screen. So we are getting the coordinates, that is good. Yeah, we are getting the bounds that has minimum x, minimum, I mean just these types of things. And what I have to do, that if I want it to appear, in that case I have to save it somewhere. So bounds for the selected shape. Okay, we have to render it. Image will also have its bound if that is a selected shape. That is good. In that case, so application, let's come back here, and Excalidraw, these are the shapes that I have right now. Actually many shapes I have, so in that case I'd like to delete them. That's nothing important, right? Yeah, let's just simply delete everything. All shapes are gone. Reload the page. Yeah, so now what do we have to do? I selected this. This is the shape that I got. Do we have bounds here in the shape? We have x and y version updated. Diamond stroke. We do not have bounds. Okay, fine. So state, do we have bounds here? Zoom level, selected element, bounds, box selected content. We do not have. Okay, fine. So we don't seem to have bounds here. So it just simply calculated, that is right as well. So how can we render this? Yeah, that's the main thing. How to render this bound for that particular shape, so that it's only possible when the shape is re-rendered. Directly I cannot really make it visible, right? That is right, that makes sense. So somehow whenever we are redrawing, so shapes gonna change. At that time we have to render the page. So somehow we have to do one thing. Now the bound can be for one, bound can be for many. We are not really working on many thing right now. So const bounds. Let's have it right now here. Bounds selected shape bounds, set selected shape bounds, use state, it can have start, or it can have these values. Ultimately start in end. We have to just simply draw a rectangle, right? Yeah, that's right, we have to just draw a rectangle. So when it comes to bounds, so min x 0. Okay, let's do one thing. It can actually be null as well, so let's keep it null for now. Forget about the type of this. We can definitely create a type, but what is the use? Or we can have the value 0. Anyway, let's just simply keep it like this. And whenever I got a bounce, so just somewhere like this, so set selected shape of bounce is gonna be bounce. What else? This is how I'm just simply gonna be going on. Any problem? Type this is not assignable to steady state action null. So come on. Alright, here we have the type. Once we have the type, we are gonna come here and it can be either this or null. Now this is not the right place, to keep, so we'll just simply move it in the shape section or something, but as for right now, let's simply keep it here. And whenever the value of selected shape bounce changes, at that time we have to render the shape again. And when we are rendering the shape, let's just simply copy and paste the type. That's the quickest way. Let's simply keep it here. Types.ts. Probably I'm gonna have it here. Done. Come back here, import it here. Selected shape bounce. It can even be null, but okay, never mind. Okay, this is actually gonna be optional. Either I give it or not, that doesn't really matter. But if it does exist, so whenever we are redrawing the things, we are scaling and all, that is fine. We are redrawing this stuff here. At that time, I'm just simply passing the shape. We are passing the context to draw or rectangle or any shape for that sake. So if that shape has bounce, already bounce. Again, now have to change them one by one, so let's do it really quickly. First of all, we have draw, it doesn't need anyway. Draw arrow. It is, oh my god, bounce, optional, selected shape bounce. So can I just simply copy this much, go to the next one, paste it here, and let's import this. This thing is done as well. Let's simply copy it, that is gonna be better. And of course we have to draw it everywhere, literally. Turns out like that only. Wait, this is not what I want. We are getting shapes over here and we are passing the bounce here. Are you sure? Yeah, that's wrong. We don't have to control. Because if I pass the bounce here, that's gonna be for all the shapes, and we don't want it for all the shapes. We want it for a particular shape. So the shape should have its bounding boxes as well. As simple as that. I can do it like that. or if I actually pass that the bounding box of that particular shape, so it will automatically appear on that, on top of that. So if I'm passing the bounding box here, as per the coordinates, that bounding box will appear just on top of the shape, so it doesn't matter which shape it belongs to. Yeah, that's fine. What I'll actually do, I already have the context over here, right? As I have the context, so I'll get the bounding box here, just like this. Once I have this bounding box, so probably here, very scale and all that is fine. Over here I'll say if I have the bounds, in that case ctx dot stroke fill rect. Okay, we are gonna be filling a rect. That's gonna be x and y. That's gonna be minimum x bounds dot minimum x bounds dot minimum y, and the height and width. The question is that what's gonna be the height? That's gonna be bounds dot y minus, first of all we have to get the width. The bounds dot max x minus bounds dot min x, and bounds dot max y minus bounds dot min y. As simple as that. But yeah, this is it. ctx dot fill style. Here we are. Let's try this thing out. Reload it. Well, I'm not even able to select this, or probably I'm just simply not logging this. So this particular thing is never getting rendered. That simply means the value of bounds is never changing. So if I go to use canvas drawing, so we had a bounds here. The thing is that we are setting the value of bounds over here. Once the value of bounds is actually set, it should be selected shape bounds. Running this, use effect testing. Let's see. Reload the page. Yeah, so use effect is running. Great. And if this use effect is running, CLG CTX. How about this? Even context is running. Where that simply means render shapes. I'm not passing bounds here. That's the problematic thing. That's gonna be bounds are gonna be equals to selected shape bounds, just like this. It can even be null, so let me make it null as well, so the value can even be null as well, just like this. Any problem? No problem as such. Now let's, wow, wow, that is good. This is good. Now the way I'm doing it here, let me make it blue. Let's get rid of this. and stroke rect. Well, this is not what I this is not what I was expecting. It's great that we are getting it, but the place that we are actually getting it, that's not the one that I was expecting. In that case, what do we have to do? Min x, min y, starting min x, min y, the minimum value of it, and let's keep it 10 by 10. Stroke style. This is here. This seems to be right. This also seems to be right. So the problem is not that. The problem is that this bounds. So let me fix it. Stroke style. And the width and height is the problem. This should always be absolute. So math.abs just math.abs, and this, here we are. Okay. This is inconsistent. First of all, for a rectangle, it is like this. I have to calculate, get the value of that as well. So in that case, CLG bounds, we have to get the bounds too. So we have things like this. We have X, we have Y. We even have to get the shape. So that's fine. So let's not have it here. Probably this is the right place to log the values. CLG bounds is gonna be bounds, and CLG selected is gonna be selected shape. Alrighty, here we are. This is how it looks like. The shape is this, bounds are these. So min x is 287, min y is 331. That simply means the minimum value. It automatically goes from left to right, so that makes sense. The only thing is that the image that I am drawing, that is below or something. So even if that is below, let's do one thing before even doing that. We have max x and we have max y. So this plus that becomes end. So if I want to get the value of end x, that's gonna be 287 plus 504. 504. That's the point only, coordinate. So there's problem in our logic. That is, we are just simply subtracting 504 minus 287 and 504 minus 311, That is fine. So max x minus min x, max y minus min y. X and y. So let's do one thing. In the bounds, wherever I'm calculating the bounds inside this, I'm gonna be increasing the value of these. So whatever the value is at the end, min x will be minus 10. Min x is gonna be min x minus 10. Minimum value minus 10. Maximum value, so max x is gonna be max x plus 10. Similarly, this is the tolerance. So min y is gonna be min y minus 10. And max y is gonna be max y plus 10. Okay, let's try one more time. Ooh, it's just that the width is more than expected. Why, I don't know. Ouch. The bounding box is not being calculated the right way. Understood. It only checks the point my mouse went. Okay. So ultimately, no doubt, the logic that I wrote, that's wrong. Literally, I just simply get the value of index and the starting point, and that is not something that's gonna do the job. So I'll have to fix it. Ultimately, if there's any shape that I'm drawing, suppose even this one, the shape can let me take the help of AI here. It's been a long time. Just simply gonna give my logic here to this, and let's see if there are errors. It tells me. Is this right? There are two bugs in your code. First one is max math.max point and point.y. There is a bug. Say second one is that match meaning by point.y. Let's fix these bugs. While writing the code, I made these issues, whatever they are. Coming back to this, whenever I'm updating here, this is the problematic thing. Coming back to this. So first one, min x is gonna be the first one is that min x and point dot x, then max x point dot y, min y point dot y it should be point dot x. This is the first problematic thing. And the second, it is telling me that the first one is that only y x, yeah. Second, whenever I'm getting max y, there should be min y and point dot y. It should be math.max. Minimum value I'm getting. Why should it be math.max? Okay. Y, so max of minimum y. Max of y should be, yeah, sorry, that was my bad, bro. Let's see how it goes. Wow, lovely, amazing, unbelievable. As for this one, that is good as well. Happy go lucky person. I'm literally happy. I did it. Even I did not take the help of AI in this a lot. Well, this is bad. Text, we have to take the width. Okay, this can be fixed. Let's get the image. Oh yeah. Now the tolerance needs to be less. It should be around 5 or something. So the tolerance that I actually added here, it should be 5. Let me make it a tolerance, and let me that is not bad, bro. Alrighty, everybody, congratulations. Never expected. One more thing, if I just simply draw this, select this, and if I move it here and there, it always remains there. So it's not like it is going somewhere else and all. It's just like there are a lot of renders and all. So we have to fix this particular thing. Apart from this particular thing, everything's great. Now, of course, when we just do something else, it should be gone. It is not going away, mainly because the bounds, they always remain the same. When I click outside, the bounds should be gone. So that's something I have to figure out. I mean, that's really not a big deal. So congratulations, we did it. Never expected it to do that easily. Anyway, any more suggestions from the AI side? Yeah, so it is asking me to make it a positive, and you just can draw any direction with this. Okay, it is just simply telling me something. That's just simply completely going over my head. Just a minute. How long have I been even sitting for? My back is hurting. 2 hours 30 minutes. Yeah, so it's definitely been long. It's just simply telling me that user can draw in the opposite direction, and I think I'm handling that case. So if I'm drawing like this, if I select this, yeah, that case is actually being handled because I'm taking the width as absolute width. That is why, and it is even being normalized, so that makes sense. As for this, I'm gonna be going through that very soon. I'm gonna take a break for some time. It's been a long time. Okay, I'm gonna be back, and then we'll just simply keep working on this. Until then, bye bye, take care, and then we'll together go through this particular section, whatever it is suggesting. Bye bye, take care, and see you.